Hey, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to answer the question, how do I sell a piece of land? All right, so you might have a piece of land you're trying to sell, or you inherited this land and you want to get rid of it. I'm going to show you how to sell your land for the highest price and all the steps you need to take to get it done. All right, in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to sell the land in 7 easy steps. 7 is a lucky number. All right, when you're trying to figure out how to sell a piece of land, obviously you want to, know the area you're selling this land in. All right, so once you know where it's located, I highly recommend walking this land if possible. Fall in love with it. It's much easier to sell something that you're familiar with, that you've experienced, that you've been to, rather than something that you've never even been there before. And I'm assuming you might have inherited this land, or your husband or your wife bought it many years ago, or a brother or sister, and you just kind of come onto it. So my team, we sell land every single day. My name is Brent Bowers, and I've done over 259 land deals. I've got 100 land notes, and we sell land every day. And I encourage my team to go and visit this land if possible. If it's within driving distance, within a couple hours away, it's way easier to sell a piece of land when you've actually been there. All right, step 2 out of 7, we're getting there. So you want to know what the land is going for. Like, you want to price this land right. When you're figuring out how to sell something, you obviously need to see what the land is actually selling for, like what the actual market value is. And I want to give you a couple quick ways to do that. One, you can kind of check out Zillow.com. You obviously want to go to the area that it's at. Say, for instance, it's Apache County, Arizona. You want to go to Apache County, Arizona in Zillow. And then I want you to click on the solds. I want you to click on the solds because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what someone's selling something for. It's what they actually get. We sold a mobile home one time, and it was a funny story. The lady calls us and is like, the place was only worth $8,000. And I said, no, ma'am, it was worth $20,000 because that's what you paid for it. So buyers make the market. So at the end of the day, if someone's buying stuff for 8 or 9 or 10,000 an acre, and you're thinking it's only worth 5,000 acre. No, it's worth 8 or 9 or 10,000 acre. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you think it's worth 50,000 acre and people are only paying 8 or 9 or 10,000. Well, it's not worth 50,000. You just want 50,000 for it. So you want to know what the land's selling for. Another great resource is calling a realtor. I love to call a land realtor, a land specialist realtor, a realtor that deals in land. How do you find this land realtor? Well, okay, the land's located in, say, Apache County, Arizona. I want you to call the closest local real estate office closest to that land because they're going to hopefully be the most familiar with that area. And when you call it, ask, hey, who is your realtor that deals in land? And so maybe this real estate office doesn't have any realtors that deal in land. Well, ask, say, do you know a real estate office that does deal in land? And the third place to find a real estate agent that deals in land is by going to landwatch.com. Landwatch.com, Apache County, Arizona, and scrolling all the land listings until you see that land specialist as a licensed real estate agent. But here's what's cool about landwatch.com. You can see what others are selling it for. And I know I said it's not really as important to see what people are trying to get. It's really important to see what it's sold for. But it's also a good idea to kind of know what's out there, because if you're trying to sell yours a little faster, maybe you could price yours a little less than what your competition is selling it for. Or maybe they all want cash for their land. They all want $10,000 or $20,000, cash. Maybe you can ask for $1,000 down and $100 a month and get even more for your land and sell it faster because you're offering easy financing. Americans think, what is it going to cost me each month, not the total cost. And then you can throw an interest rate on there and actually get a bigger amount. So that's my pro tip for you, how to get even more for your land. Step 3. So that leads me in my last point there into financing or cash. Which one is best? Cash or financing? Say you got to get rid of that property fast, and I would recommend cash. You might want to do a discounted cash price because at the end of the day, not everyone's walking around with $50,000 or $100,000, and they might have to go to a bank to get financing. But what if you offered the financing and the land? You might be able to get a little bit more for it. You might be able to sell it faster. And the pro tip I just mentioned, adding an interest rate, people mostly look at the actual purchase price and the monthly price, not the interest amount that they're going to pay. I love selling my land on 30-year mortgages because at the end of the day, if you have a $200,000 mortgage at 6%, the payment's going to be about $1,200 a month. If you pay that payment for 30 years on time, never refinance, you're actually going to pay a little over $400,000 for for that $200,000 mortgage. Is that really 6%? I don't think so. However, it allows me, a land investor, to be the bank. There's a reason why the banks have the biggest buildings in every city and every state. It's because they know something about interest, compounding interest, that is. All right, let's go back to cash. Let's just say you don't want to hold the financing. You don't want to have to deal with that. Or maybe they won't make all their payments. You have to take the land back. You just want to be done with this. Like, you no longer want to deal with this place anymore. It's a burden on your shoulders. You want to get the monkey off your back. Well, cash, I highly recommend, pricing it right. If the land in your area is going for $50,000 for a 5-acre parcel and that's what you have, well, list yours for $45,000. Be a little bit different from everyone else. Get it sold fast. Get it done now price. And that's what you want to get from that real estate agent. So going back to step 2, realtor, when trying to figure out what the land's going for, I want you to ask that realtor, what is a 30-day blowout price? What's the get it done now price? Because I don't want this stuff sitting on the market for a year and a half. You'll see a lot of times land sits out there for a while. It's because 1, they're asking for cash. 2, the realtor might just put a sign up and throw it on the MLS. 3, they're not offering any financing to sell it faster, to give incentive, to be a little bit different. And 4, they're not giving good photos or video or drone footage. So I just wanted to kind of go back to that step and kind of reiterate what to say to that realtor, because you want the get it done now price. You want the 30-day blowout price. You don't want the 2 years from now price. All right, step 4, I kind of already mentioned it, and that's photos, video, and drone. Well, why all 3? Why do I need all 3? I got a camera that can just take photos. Well, I want you, once again, I'm telling you how to sell your land fast for the biggest amount of money possible. And I want you to kind of be a little bit different, because when this guy's sitting in Michigan and it's snowing, it's wintertime, and you're selling a piece of land in Arizona or Florida, I want you to showcase this land as if Jim or Mary are standing on the land and they see exactly what they're getting into, and I want them to be like begging you to buy this land. So photos, good high quality wide angle lens photos. Video, I want it standing on the land and like just a slow movement so you can see the mountain views, so you can see the river that's running by, the creek that's right down the road, or the kids riding their bicycles. Whatever it be, I want you to show off the attributes that that land has. Attributes are lakes and rivers and mountains and ponds, things like that. Maybe a sunset, maybe the trees, whatever it be, I want you showing this to the best of its ability. Eye in the sky, drone footage, drone photos. You might think, well, I don't know anybody that does this. Well, realtors provide this service if they list your land. There's something called droners.io. That's droners.io, where you can actually put your project out there, and these droners, these drone pilots can bid on it. And then there's one more option, that's Pixvid, Pixvid.net. Those are 3 resources that you can get the best footage, video, photos, and drone shots. I want you to be different. All right, before I get to my next point on how to market this land like crazy, comment below if you've ever tried any of these steps, or you were trying to sell a piece of land, and I want to know the hangups. Like, what were the obstacles that you had to get over? Or do you have a funny realtor story, or you were able to blow your land out fast? Like, whatever it is, I'd love to see the comments. I do my best to read and respond to all of these. Number 5, all right, I want you to be omnipresent. I want this land to be everywhere. If someone's looking for 5 acres in Apache, Arizona, and this is just an example, but if someone's looking for that, I want them to see your land everywhere. Facebook, free. You can put this on Facebook for free. Any buy-sell trade group, any buy-sell land group, any buy-sell neighborhood garage sale group, I don't care. Maybe you don't use Facebook, you hate Facebook, but I guarantee you probably have a granddaughter or a daughter or a son or a friend that loves Facebook that you can give like $50 to post this thing for you. Put your phone number, answer the question. Next, I already alluded to it, which is free, is Craigslist. I sold my first 10 parcels of land on Craigslist. This is so easy to use. Whether you've heard good things or bad things about Craigslist, I sell land all the time on Craigslist. Next, Zillow. Zillow.com. If you've got a street address on this property already, and you can put this on Zillow. Zillow is now a household name. People go to Zillow to buy land. Here's the thing though, you got to put a phone number that Zillow can reach you, whether it be a cell phone or a landline, and you must answer it. They call within like 30 minutes to verify this is a real listings. I just gave you 3 free places to post your land. Now, the 4th is a realtor. A realtor charges a commission or a flat rate, and you want to see the services that they provide, and I highly recommend using a land specialist realtor, a realtor that deals in land and not just houses, because you want them putting it on all these places I just mentioned, plus all the paid sites, plus the MLS, plus a sign, plus this, that, and the other. You want to see this realtor is actually spending their money to get your land sold. All right, so you're marketing this land like crazy. You got beautiful photos, pictures, video, drone, all that stuff. Now you're getting floods of people just asking questions about it. Start taking offers. Do not get excited. Don't get the anxiety of the buyer. Get a couple offers and pick the one that nets you the highest and best for your piece of land. Then to step 7, the final step. Accept an offer, get it to the title company, get it under contract, and close the deal. That's the celebration. That's where you get paid for all this work, all this stuff I just mentioned. Whether you use a realtor to help you with all this stuff or you do it all yourself, have the title company take care of the contract, the closing, get yourself paid, and get your buyer his new piece of land and celebrate. All right, you've watched this entire video on how to sell your land. Maybe you're interested in finding a developer to buy your land. Check out the video up here. I actually show you a way to find developers, how to talk to them, what to say to them, and also get them in a bidding war to pay you the most for your land.